everybody, I'm Roadblock, and this is a Raid Shadow Legends video. We are back on the free-to-play. So, let me explain, I've been missing a couple of days there. Truth of the matter is that the way that I've been recording, I was recording kind of early on in the day, and then reset would happen, right? And then I would get some things that would change everything that I talked about in the previous video. So, yeah, I just, so it's like, oh, shoot, well, okay, I recorded that, but I know everything is different. I don't want to release that video and then, release another one. So let me just, well, I'll record a new one tomorrow. And well, that basically happened over the last couple of days. Everything just keeps changing, and boy, is it ramping up. Now, at the time of recording in one of the other videos, I was actually ranked 6th in the competition. As of right now, I am ranked 8th in the competition. And damn, am I proud of that, guys. I mean, look, I'm not trying to take, I want to be clear, I'm not taking anything away from any other content creators who have Harimas and Necmothars and all these things, but with just all the same starter champions that everybody else has, I have managed to place 8th in this competition. I am super proud of myself. Let's talk about how we did that. Where did I make improvements? What changes did I make to bring my score up? Well, first and foremost, we did campaign Nightmare. We completed that. And I would love to tell you that this Sacred Shard right here is the one that I got from campaign, but that would be a lie. I opened that shard and I got a epic. I don't even remember who. Oh yeah, it was Sanguinia. Yeah, so that wasn't great. But that happened. By the way, let me cut in real quick here. We're gonna open some freaking shards, guys. I'm super pumped about that. Also, real quick, before I open those shards, I do want to shout out one thing. You're going to hear me promote this a lot over the next month. I apologize, guys. But February 22nd, I am doing a birthday stream. We're going to do that stream at 10 a.m. Mountain Time. That's a Saturday. I'm going to be streaming pretty much all day, just hanging out. I've already cleared it with the wife. We're going to have some fun. We'll play Raid. Maybe we play some other games. Who knows? I just want to hang out with you guys in my community. So if you can make it, if you can be there, I would be super appreciative of that. And, any support you guys are willing to give, I would appreciate that as well. But back to the video here. Yeah, so I pulled that chart. I didn't get anything, and I was near broken. In fact, the previous video that I recorded, I already had the title in mind, which was me saying, I'm starting to break because the luck that I've had has been so terrible. And I want to give a really big shout out to Bront Cat Herder. If you guys are not already watching him, I highly recommend you check out his channel, honestly, because Bront saved this account. He doesn't know that. I haven't told him that yet, but the reality is that I was just in his Twitch, and while I was in his Twitch, we were talking about Raid, and I was watching him do Nightmare Campaign, and I was like, oh, he cleared Nightmare Campaign? Well, I gotta do that too, right? That actually happened before I got in his Twitch, but yeah, basically, like, I saw that he did it, and I was like, well, if Bront can do it, I'm gonna have to go do it too, and I managed to do that. That's a ton of points, and it caught me up pretty good. And then I was watching him live doing different dungeons, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I should do those dungeons too and rack up my points. I mean, he's doing them. Why can't I do them, right? And so we went up to stage 14 of Shogun's Grove. For Sand Devil, we went up to stage 12. Now, Fire Knight is still pretty stagnant at stage 16, and that's mostly an affinity issue with stage 17. When I've done stage 17, basically what happens is we get right to the end, and Kale loses so much enemy max HP. Sorry, that's not. He gets so much destroyed HP is what I mean to say. So he loses so much destroyed HP that he just can't, even at full health, because he's at 50% of his health. He can't survive the Fire Knight AoE, and so I can't just like cheese my way through that. I need turn meter control, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. Dragon's Lair went all the way up to 24. On stage 25, I got through the waves, which was the hardest part, I thought. We got to the boss. Didn't have enough to take down the boss, unfortunately. We got about 50%, and his damage just overtook our healing. Our healing is good, but it has its limitations, and it doesn't matter how much healing you have on Kale. He is super weak. We need to find a way to move on from him, and I think we have a couple of ideas. Again, spoilers for the video, but I do want to get through this stuff real quick and let you know where we're at. Spider's Den is a similar issue. We're talking about a Force Affinity. I mostly have all magic. This is going to be a challenge for me to get past with my current roster. A great solution to that will be turn meter manipulation and enemy max HP damage from Armiger, which is probably going to be a direction that we're heading. I'm hoping I only have to take him to 50. I'd like to not take him to 60 if I can afford to save the chickens, but it is what it is. We'll see what happens. Stage 16 still on the event dungeon. That is still pretty good. Now, that did not count for the monthly bonus. If you guys don't know what I mean by that, at the end of the month, because we have been 1 month into the competition, they basically do a tally of everybody's progression, and you get bonus points at the end of the month for ranking in the top 10 of different categories. To explain that just a little bit further, if I go ahead and bring this to leaderboards here. So it's specifically dungeons categories, right? So Dragon, I am number 8, right? So I got points based on being rank 8, which was 2 through 10. So I got 225 extra points because I was ranked 8th at the end of the month in Dragon. Now, I'm not on the board for Fire Knight, but I don't know how far down, because I didn't realize it went below. I thought it was only top 10 got points. Ice Golem, spoiler, because we didn't talk about that yet, I'm stage 20 on Ice Golem. So I actually am 3rd place in Ice Golem right now, which I think is freaking insane to me. And I'm a faster time than some of the others as well, which is why I'm in 3rd place and not lower down. For Spider, again, I'm not on the board here because I'm a lot further behind than everybody else, because I am only on stage 14, but I'm probably in like the lower bracket there, because if we look at the totals there, 14 is number 10. So I'm probably just a little bit slower than YST. So I might be, I don't know this for sure, but I might be like 11, 12, maybe 15, right? Somewhere in there. Who knows, right? Minotaur didn't count for that, and so we covered the big ones. Iron Twins, I didn't push Iron Twins when it was Spirit Affinity, which is a big mistake on my part, so I did not get ranked as high as some of the other players probably did, because I don't know how Iron Twins work, since it doesn't divide it up by affinity. My guess is whatever the highest stage that you got on Iron Twins, regardless of affinity, meaning that like if Spirit came around, assuming Lumi makes it to 12, and I probably not, actually. I don't even think, because he wasn't on the leaderboard. I bet you he did that on Force Affinity or something, just using Helicath, which is awesome. Great job. But yeah, I'm assuming that's how this works. I don't really know, because they didn't split it up by affinity. But either way, I never got beyond 6, I don't think, on any affinity. I think on the current affinity for Iron Twins, I'm 6. Yeah, so I probably hopefully placed somewhere in the rankings there, but who knows. So those were, and then Shogun Grove and Sand Devil. I am 3rd place on Sand Devil, and I've been bumped down to 4th place on Shogun Grove, but I wouldn't be surprised, actually, if I was maybe a little bit higher at the time of the point tallying. I don't know that for sure, though. But yeah, look, I'm not a cocky. Well, that sounds cocky. If you guys have been watching any of my content, if you've been in my streams, you know I'm not like the most confident person in the world. I got to tell you, this has really been fueling my confidence. Truly, it has, because I am I cannot for the life of me tell you what I'm doing any different to get the performance that I'm getting out of my champions versus everybody else. Maybe I'm building them, but I don't know. I other than Alice being built like a brick something, PG. We'll keep it PG, and we'll talk about the improvements I just got on Alice too, because boy, did I get some improvements. In fact, let me pull that up really quickly. It might pop up on the screen. I'm going to minimize it. That may not have been fast enough, but we'll get to that spoiler here in a second. So, that's what I've been doing in the dungeons, and that's how I racked up points. So between Nightmare Campaign being finished and pushing all of those dungeons individually, as well as knocking out some faction wars. Now, you can't really see it right now, but individually, like I can't show you specifics, but you can see Sacred Order went up to 33. That's a big boost in the Sacred Order. That is in large part due to how awesome Alice is. One of my, honestly, of all of the free-to-play accounts that I've made, best login champion I've ever had. And that's, look, I don't think she's as good as Wukong. But she is so much fun. And I love Wukong. But, man, she's just, there's something satisfying about her kit. I don't know if it's because she has, an AoE that she gets to use immediately after if she gets some kills, or immediately is a stretch, but you know what I'm saying? Like, kill one wave, kill the second wave with the same ability, or if it's because she has that really hard-hitting single-target attack, and it's very satisfying with the sound effect and the boom, boom, right? I don't know what it is, but I'm having more fun with Alice than I've had with any other champions. So, for starter champions, that is. And I've made a few free-to-play accounts over time, and she has just been so much fun to use. Just absolutely fun. Granted, I got really good gear on her, but we'll talk about that in a second. Now, I did screw up on my live arena the other day, so I did miss 5 battles for Thursday reset, and that's or 5 wins, I should say, and that's on me. I planned to do them today, and I had some stuff that went over on time, and it happens. It is what it is. But nobody's fault. Just stuff happens, and I had to run out the door and go get my daughter, and I just didn't get time to do my arena runs. I should have done them last night, which was my original plan, and I decided that nah, I'm gonna go do my main accounts instead. And those took a way longer than I thought, right? So I was doing main account stuff until like 2 in the morning, trying to get the cat's gaze for those accounts, and yeah, it was a rough night. And but other than that, Classic Arena, we are very, very close to Gold 3. In fact, we are due for a refresh here, and we've got a couple of teams to beat, so I will come back in here and start running. Basically, my objective here, and you can see, like, these are not all that great, right? You look at this and you're like, hold on, you're going to fight these teams? Why aren't you waiting for those single teams? Man, I got to tell you, I'm not seeing a lot of single teams down here in rank 2. I know we get a lot more in rank 5, but down here in rank 2, I am not getting them. So instead, I'm taking on teams like this one. We'll do a quick one for you. Oh, shoot! I had a quest for all the same affinity, and unfortunately, I did not remember to change my team back. Now, it would not have mattered. I still went first, but I did not have increased attack there, which likely would have got me to kill their whole team there. I think we're good. This is going to take, 2 years to kill UDK, but that's fine. Wait, is this just a fast UDK? Is he going to beat me? Is he going to, like, just out-heal me with, There we go. That'll help. Okay, so he doesn't have any self-healing, so he's only healing off of our stuff, and then yeah, eventually I'll get a not weak hit. So there you go. really, really quickly. I just need to, for my sanity. I think that will save, right? No. Okay. Remember, Kevin, remember, we got to fix that before we go and do that stuff again. Maybe we do this team real quick, because I actually might lose this, and it'll be quick, I hope. But honestly, I need to take her out anyways, and we might just take Kale out of this too, although his damage did help a little bit there. Oh, boom. Beautiful. Love it. Okay. So, that's how arena's going. We already talked about faction wars. We talked about dungeons. So that's all the updates that you guys need. I ask you just to suffer through those updates a little bit before we get to the fun shard pull. Now, I did pull some shards already. I did pull... I recorded it. And it's just not worth sharing with you guys because nothing interesting happened. The summon pool... Oh, sorry. Well... Something interesting did happen. I'm just too lazy to edit it in here. But we pulled Delaja. And I actually think Delaja was probably one of my most wanted in this pool. Let's talk about her kit a little bit. In fact, let's go ahead and look at her when she's fully leveled up here. So, a couple of reasons why I'm excited about Delaja. She's got the big version of poisons on her A1. She's an HP-based champion with a built-in leech. So everything that I'm currently using Kale for, she can do, right? Poisons is what I'm using Kale for, honestly. But I have to have him a lifesteal because he's pretty squishy and can't really sustain like Alice can. She also brings a decreased attack, which is 100% when booked, and she's a different affinity than Taragi, which gives me a backup decreased attack to Taragi's, which quite honestly doesn't go off as much as I would like. And this one's going to be more consistent, but if hers is a bad affinity, then maybe Taragi's will work and help us out. I would actually turn off the shield, I feel like. This book's down to a 4-turn cooldown, and it's a big shield, but I've already got shielders involved, and I would much rather have the poisons being applied or the decreased attack than I would want to have this shield really doing anything. The counter-attacking mechanic of the kit doesn't really help me, because I won't have any other Lizardmen on the team, but overall, I think she's a pretty reasonable epic poisoner that has way more survivability than Kale. So all the areas of the game where I'm using Kale as my boss killer with poisons, I feel like she can do that, but maybe a little slower, right? Because this is each hit is only a 20% chance, so she may not land as many poisons, but my hope is that we can build her a little tankier, keep her alive. She's a different affinity, which is going to help on some of the stages that we're struggling on. I don't know. You guys let me know in the comments if you've ever used Delaja. Do you think that she's an upgrade to Kale, or do you think I should stick with Kale? You guys let me know. But yeah, we got her from the summon pool, and then Void Shard, I think, was a veteran, which is, I want to say, an orc. Yeah, we got a veteran. Nothing too impressive here. Really not looking to use any rares, to be completely honest with you, with the exception of maybe Doom Screech. So yeah, that's kind of what's been happening with my shards. I guess that's really the big update, right? We talked about the points. We talked about how good that things are going for us. As far as moving forward, oh wait, I didn't talk about Alice's gear. We got to talk about that. And I did 5-star Armiger. I want to leave him at 5 stars if possible. I really may need that 6-star banner, but the hope is, and I just talked about this in a collab, is that with Pinpoint being a set, I'm pretty confident that we might be able to find other ways to get our accuracy besides a banner. So I've got a lot of gear that I didn't have the last time I built Armiger, so we could hopefully get him rebuilt, maybe get a couple of masteries on him to boost up that accuracy a bit, and hopefully get him over. And you know, like even here, I've got, in fact, this is actually, we're just going to equip this, just outright equip that, because not only is it a better ring with his main stat of defense, but it is also Pinpoint, and that's going to get me another 20 accuracy. So now he's up to 100. So yeah, that was a big increase right there. We could throw on Well, intercept doesn't really matter, but there is accuracy down here on this, and it's crit damage. He is going to be crit capped. So yeah, we'll probably do some tinkering with him a little bit, and intercept actually might prove to be pretty useful in some areas. Who knows? Let's talk about Alice and how much better she got. So I wanted to show you guys this screenshot here. So this piece, I want to say was 3.8 million silver. And oh wait, you can see right there. Sorry, not 3.8, 4.8 is what it was. But yeah, 4,730,000. I don't know why they rounded up there, but they did when it listed it in this. You see that says 1.4 m. It said 4.8 m. So I don't know why they rounded up, but either way, it was 4,730,000. I went ahead and grinded up, and I bought it. And I'm sure you're like, wait, but why? You already had a weapon on your Alice. Well, first of all, that had speed on it, and extra crit rate, and it rolled a ton of attack and a ton of crit damage. Now, I would have loved for it to roll speed and crit rate, or at least one in the speed or something in the speed to get me. But my biggest issue that I've had with Alice is that she was too slow. She was the slowest champion in any of my teams. By putting this piece in, I've actually gone over crit rate more than I would like to. I would actually like to be at closer to 100. I don't really want to be at 110. But in order to keep Savage set, I don't have any other pieces to replace them with, because there's no crit rate on this, and this double rolled crit rate. So if I take this off, I don't make up enough crit rate, and even then, I don't really think I have. Yeah, these are the only Savage pieces that I have to replace it. So this is 7 speed slower and even 1 crit damage less, which doesn't make any sense. And then this one is 11 speed slower and gives me more crit rate. So really, there's really no path here. And I did look at a couple of crit damage gloves and maybe an attack percent chest with crit rate to see if is it possible for us to get some rolls and potentially get crit damage gloves on her, which would be huge. Unfortunately, when you're talking substats, this would be the only crit damage gloves, and I just don't have the silver to roll this stuff up anyways. And to be completely honest, I just don't think we're going to get there. Even if I rolled that helmet, that Savage helmet, even if I rolled this helmet and we got a bunch of crit rate on it, and we keep this shield, and we roll a chest with crit rate, and we get crit damage gloves with crit rate, even if we do all that, I still don't know that we're actually going to get the crit rate that we want. Now, there is the chance that we could ascend those gloves and get crit rate roll on them and maybe make them work that way. But to be completely honest, when we look at her stats, I don't think we need it. I think I'm fine right now. 190 speed, that's the big kicker. Any changes that I make to try and get crit damage gloves is slowing her by quite a bit. I want the speed. I'd love to have her be, 210, 220, preferably. But this is where we're at. So 5,400 attack, 190 speed, 110 crit rate, 197 crit damage. Love that. That is so huge. Obviously, a big part of that is coming from the blessing, right? You get 38% right there. Masteries, of course. And artifacts are bringing 86% crit damage. So, but the biggest upgrade I just got today. So I got my Chimera rewards. With those Chimera rewards, we were able to get a Sacred Order Revenge banner from the clan shop, and I rolled speed on that, of course, double speed. Hell yeah. And take it one step further, it was an attack banner. Previous banner she was in was a defense banner, which had a little bit of speed, but again, not the main stat. I didn't realize we actually had 2 banners, 2 revenge banners. This one is accuracy. I'm kind of blocking it a little bit with my head there, but this one is accuracy, and no speed. So we went with the speed because that is king. And it was actually more speed with this hitting a double roll than wearing both those pinpoint pieces. So that pinpoint piece I put on Armiger a second ago, that used to be on Alice, and that was how we were getting our speed on Alice. And we were able to lose that speed, but gain speed from this piece. And this is a counterattack piece. Now, I saw some people talk in, I think it was on my live stream, and being like, yeah, those counterattacks, they don't really matter that much. But you know what, man? I got to tell you, don't be sleeping on that 5% counterattack. It's a small percent chance. I get that. I agree. But, you know, even a couple of those happening in a long fight like Clan Boss can really add up to the damage. And sometimes it's procs in Arena, and you steal a buff sneakily with her A1. Yeah. And then, of course, we... where did I get this ring? Oh, this was the ring. This was the ring from the Alice progressive event, progression challenge, whatever it was. The Alice after you get her thing, where you get her 5-star soul. It's HP, which I'm not thrilled about. But the fact of the matter is, I don't have an attack ring anyways. So this was also had attack percent, so I gained attack by putting it on. And I'm very pleased with her overall stats and her build. She hits like a truck, and she's out damaging my Kale at this point, which sounds crazy when you say it, but it's truth. Now, there's caveats to that. It's not every run, and when I say out damaging, I'm talking by like a couple thousand, maybe 10,000, right? We're not talking about 7 million to 5 million, right? She sometimes passes Kale, at least when I pay attention to it, and I've noticed like, oh, okay, cool, yeah, she's kicking butt. Speaking of Clan Boss, we didn't talk about that. I do want to touch on that very, very quickly here. We're 4-key in Nightmare now. We're going to notice that's a very, 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 very high 4-key. I almost 3-keyed it. In fact, if I would have waited for my 3rd key to be Spirit Affinity, I would have 3-keyed it. On Spirit Affinity, I did 15 million on my key. That was huge. And that's, of course, post all these changes, because that speed upgrade to Alice, that didn't happen until after I ran my keys earlier today on Void. I'm actually pretty confident that with the Alice changes, there's a good possibility that we end up with a 3-key in Nightmare tomorrow. I have no clue how much I'll be able to do on Brutal. I don't think I have an extra key left over. We should check just to be sure. No, I do not. So it either expired or I used it. But yeah, I am really, really pleased with the performance of the account and Alice in general. It's just so much fun to use. Really, really like her. So, that's everything I got for you guys. Let's go ahead and pull the shards now. And by shards, I mean shard. Would love a Cold Heart. Would love most Void Epics, probably. I don't know. We'll see. You know, we've done a lot with a little. It'd be nice to get just a little bit of extra help here. So here we go. Not Tree Shield. Okay. So this is going to be a good Faction Wars guy. Normally, in an early game setting, I think you'd be thrilled to get this guy. The revive is on a bit of a long cooldown, but so is Tagore. You get the heal, you get the increased defense. Is that the small version of decreased attack? Yeah. But for a rare, I mean, it's not a bad kit. It's a decent reviver, good for some early game stuff. He can be a good reviver in Sylvan Watchers as well. So I'm not super mad about that pull, because I can see the usefulness there in potentially getting some value out of Faction Wars for Sylvan Watchers. We'd like to see something a little bit better, but, you know, it is what it is. As far as I know, I have no other ways to get shards, and I'm going to go ahead and say that I think the time to start saving is now. The whole plan was to basically pull shards early until I got something. I wasn't just going to YOLO all my shards. I was just going to pull shards until I got something really, really good, like something that I could kind of carry on, right? And unfortunately, we just never hit that. By the way, because I know a lot of you are going to ask, I am not going for the fusion. And even if I saved all my shards, I would not have gone for the fusion. I don't particularly think this fusion is all that great. I think as a combo, they are amazing. But on a free-to-play account, I don't think I can do the combo. Like, I'm not going to be able to get, even if he's a guaranteed for Ancients or Sacreds or whatever, I'm not going to be able to get him. So I really think they're best as a combo, and I don't think individually, and I don't have her stats in front of me or her kit in front of me to comment on it, but the Esma fusion, it just doesn't hit for me if you can't get both of them. So I'm gonna pass. I'm gonna pass on all three of my accounts, even though the main account I really wanted a combo that would be like a top tier, you know, Sify Rotos type combo. I would put them more Kaja Timit, to be honest, level of a combo, but I would like to have a combo for Tag Team Arena, but unfortunately I just don't think that we're there yet. So well, so, I mean, even if I was there, I just don't think I would go for it because you're going to have a hard time getting that second champion, I feel like. So either way, I'm happy with where we're at. Shard luck has been non-existent. Delaja's not bad. And as far as my roster goes, I don't really know who's going to be next. So I need to do a Force champion and a Void champion for future quests. And I'm keeping tabs on that. Where are we at on this? Oh, I think we're ready to do this one, actually. No. We need to get 300. Yeah, we need to get 300. We're getting close. We're getting close. If we keep ranking up in Arena, we'll get there quicker. But everybody is stuck there. A lot of other top end guys are stuck here. But I think I start saving the Ancients. I start saving the Sacreds. Now, that being said, a really good epic progression, like if they did a progression where they just did one, so they wouldn't do it again, but I'm using this as an example only. If they did a progressive chance for Geomancer again, I would probably pull Ancient Shards. And probably Sacred Shards too. I don't think at this point, especially with Geo having passed, I can't think of a non-void epic that... And I don't want to speak too soon, but I can't really think of anybody that I would chase in a progressive chance. I'm happy with where we're at with Ally Protect. Maybe a buff extender, but if I just want a buff extender, I can get a Valerie. I think she's campaign farmable. I could be wrong about that. Don't quote me on that one, guys. We also got High Katoon. High Katoon's going to be our lead now. I need to figure out the game plan with what I want to do kind of moving forward. But yeah, non-void. Like if the void, there's a lot of void epics I still want, right? But as far as non-void ones, you know what? I'm almost at the point where I don't even think I want a Venomage. And Venomage would have been at the top of my list, but I just have a hard time seeing a champion that squishy kind of making the cut. Now, there may be some that I'm not familiar with, so, you know, please don't destroy me in the comments. A Feign would be nice. I would do a Feign. Decrease defense and weaken would be really, really good, I think. But outside of that, I just can't think of anything. Yeah, I mean, maybe you could see an argument for Zargala since she's got decreased defense and weaken, but Yeah, one of them that I was talking about, I said buff extension, and I would take Aothar, because a lot of poison damage out of him. He's a Kale upgrade essentially, and I don't think you really need to book him all that much. I mean, you want this cooldown to be down, of course, but yeah, you probably want to book him, to be honest. I mean, there's some, right? There's Mordecai, Phoenix, but I was thinking Anchorite would be pretty interesting because of the buff extension for the Ally Protector. And then, of course, healing in the kit is nice. Also, crit rate and crit damage is really, really good. But I don't really know whose spot he would take exactly, given the current composition of my team. So, yeah, I'm sure there's probably some people that I'm forgetting about. You know, Geo, of course, is one that everyone wants, right? But yeah, that's kind of where we're at. So we'll wrap this up. Sorry, it's a little bit longer of a video. I feel like I say that every time, but you have 3 weeks worth of Morello would be good. You've got 3 days worth of content that hasn't been released, that is in my head, and I had to spit it all out to you guys. So and then, yeah, but I think I'm going to start saving my shards. No more YOLOing. The YOLOing was fun. I still stand by everything I said, but at this point, I just don't think I have the luxury anymore. And the fact that I can now do a 4-key Nightmare at worst, a 3-key at best, is really, really good for me, and that's encouraging that there's a good possibility that I can start getting better rewards. We can start getting sacreds and potentially start getting a higher chance at some voids, some better books, and so on and so forth. So yeah, that's where everything stands. Thank you guys for watching. Again, February 22nd, we'll be celebrating my birthday all day on stream. That's both Twitch and YouTube. Be streaming simultaneously. Please come check that out. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited about it. I hope you guys are excited about it. And that's all I have for you. Take care, guys. I'll see you next time.